The long-standing issue of the pervasive stigma surrounding mental health has existed inside the academic realm, amid the pursuit of knowledge and intellectual development. The selection of this topic for our research was motivated by the significance of this issue for the university students and the demand for an extensive discussion. Universities serve as learning environment as well as catalyst for social change. However, despite the fact that stigma surrounding mental health is a major obstacle to students' holistic development, which can have an impact on both their academic journey and overall well-being, we decided to investigate and address the stigma associated with mental health concerns, which are common among college students out of genuine concern for the well-being of students. Yet these offers go unreported because they fear being judged or misunderstood. Many university students suffer from mental health problems. We'll discuss mental health stigma among the college students in more detail and offer systematic ways to lessen its occupancy in the parts that follow.
Hello, I'm Licia. In methodology, we have selected content caches and survey as our two research approaches in this day. Content evaluation. In this day, content analysis is being used to methodically examine written resources, including academic population and online debates, in order to identify and comprehend the types and frequencies of stigma associated with mental health among college students. In essence, content analysis will be an effective technique for revealing the subtleties of stigma around the mental health in college settings. That will offer local information that can get focused intervention and policy differentiation into permanent and admin atmosphere that is more welcoming and encourages of our students. The main sources of information used in this day are several and include printed text, articles from the internet, posters on social media, and online discussion board. These resources were carefully selected since they are easily accessible and directly related to the subject of the state. This selection procured guarantees that the information gathered is reflective of the survey aspects of stigma associated with mental health among college students. In addition to being done, this methodology preserves the themes and the objective of our research and permit comprehensive investigation of the topic. In theory, furthermore, because surveys are effective at gathering quantitative data, they were selected as a stage two compared to traditional data collecting techniques like interviews. This strategy saves us time and money by enabling us to collect data from a large number of people effectively and repeatedly. This approach consistently as in our comprehension of the extent of knowledge or awareness that the survey reports possess regarding the selected subject, reducing stigma associated with mental health among university students. The target audience for our survey will be Malaysia university students.
I'm Dina. I'm going to be covering psychology and sociology. We discovered during our research that philosophy emphasizes the value of mental health and the dignity of every person. As a result, we educate students to understand how stigmatizing mental health runs to counter philosophy. Immanuel Kant, the philosopher, asserted that the rational humans should be viewed as ends in end of themselves rather than a means to a goal. From the perspective of psychology and sociology, there is an intrinsic significance in the fact that we are human. The viewpoint might emphasize how crucial it is to accept and not pass judgment on the mental health of others. Advocated by philosophers such as John Stuart Mill, utilitarian ethics places a strong emphasis on acts that maximize happiness and minimize pain. Our study may persuade students to think about the ways that lowering stigma on mental health impacts the general well-being of the campus community. According to the liberty principle, it is only acceptable to legitimately impose authority over an unwilling member of civilized society in order to protect others from harm. Respecting people's mental health and bodily autonomy is central to this idea of freedom. Based on findings from the survey, 64.1% of the people that have voted a neutral opinion on stigma reduction effort at the universities have positively influenced their mental health. We surmise that stigma reduction effects at our university have positively impacted the mental health of students because it is challenging to eradicate stigmas associated with mental health issues for a variety of reasons, including cultural and societal standards. It is forbidden in certain cultures, particularly Asian cultures, to discuss mental health issues, and those who do not view and those who do so may be viewed as weak or insane. The second factor is self-belief. Some people hold views and values that stigmatize mental health. As a result, these attitudes may be challenging to overcome because they are deeply ingrained. Universities ought to conduct more mental health awareness programs in order to dispel the stigma associated with mental illness, foster a mental stigma atmosphere, improve student outcomes and related to mental health, and create a more orderly and productive campus community. Secondly, we agree with the fact that universities should allocate more resources and funding to support stigma reduction initiatives because based on the findings, 56.1% of people agree that the university should allocate more resources and funding to support stigma reduction initiatives. This correlates with John Locke's theory that people have fundamental rights, and universities allocating more resources for stigma reduction initiatives is a basic need for students to become more aware of mental health and destigmatize it. Additionally, this has led to encouraging students to consider how a university community as a microcosm of society has shared responsibility to create a supportive and inclusive environment for all members, including those with mental health challenges. Sociology is the study of society and social behavior. It examines how individuals, groups, and society are all interconnected with each other and the influence it has on the world we live in. Sociology helps us understand complex social constructs such as social inequalities, cultural norms, and the impact of various social factors on individuals' lives. Unsurprisingly, mental health also falls within the scope of sociology.
If we talk about how much our students are comfortable talking about their mental health, only 12.9% of students feel comfortable talking about their mental health, and 32.3% remain neutral. However, even if I share my personal participation in any stigma reduction activities or event organized by my university is zero. However, evidently, it is crucial for universities to get more involved with their students and regularly promote the resources made available for students to fully utilize. Sending out newsletters and emails, for example, could be a terrific way to spread the message and demonstrate to students that the university truly cares about them. Ultimately, it will take time for the generational stigma associated with mental health to be overcome. In order to end the ongoing cycle of stigma and foster an atmosphere that is more welcoming and encouraging, we must be the change that is required. University students can gain a deeper knowledge of the ethnic underpinning for decreasing stigma associated with mental health by incorporating this philosophical viewpoint into conversation and project. Critical thinking, empathy, and the dedication to fostering a more welcoming and compassionate campus community can all be sparking by philosophy. According to our research, given that 74.2% of people never seek assistance or support for mental health issues while attending a university. We know that more work needs to be done to combat the stigma associated with mental illness among students in order to encourage them to seek assistance and support when needed. According to a pragmatic theory of truth, combating the stigma associated with mental health would require highlighting the benefit of doing so. This could entail illustrating how stigma discourages people from asking for assistance, has detrimental impact on productivity at work, or fosters social isolation, and that it is practically advantageous to live in a society free of stigma. We gathered some opinions from students to give some suggestions on what could university implement to reduce the stigma effect on students, and most of the response is mostly organize a campaign to talk about mental health and stigma, get help for experts, external counselor, and also help the student to raise awareness about mental health by creating workshop, event, and health screening. From the answer given by students, we can come up with that students really lack knowledge on mental health, and they should raise more awareness of their own mental health. According to an article by the International Journal of Mental Health System, many children from a young age lack mental health training, especially in Asia. Many students are tough to study for knowledge, and this causes many children a lack of awareness of their mental health. This is also an epistemic philosophy from which people will follow what they learn and unaware of what they didn't learn. Since people acquire mental health from their environment when they are young and sometimes we are unsure of how we acquire mental health, epistemic aspects play a critical role in the field of mental health. This philosophy will aid in the shaping of our understanding of mental health and in our research for an effective treatment. We can observe numerous epistemic factors at work when we think about how societies view and handle people with mental health disorders. Talking about epistemology, which is an area of philosophy that deals with the nature, extent, and boundaries of human knowledge, we find a valuable framework to analyze the concept of mental health stigma. This philosophical perspective can help shed light on the ways in which knowledge and awareness play a crucial role in understanding and addressing mental health stigma.
To sum up, the research and conversation explore several philosophical and sociological viewpoints regarding the stigma associated with mental illness. Immanuel Kant emphasizes on seeing people as ends in themselves in one philosophical perspective that is utilized to encourage empathy and respect for mental health. The examination of sociological aspect reveals Malaysia's conservative views on mental health, especially the belief in paranormal causations. Students' attitude appear to be shifting, through since the sizable portion of them feels comfortable talking about their mental health. In order to bring understanding the availability of reliable resources and information that about mental health and stigma reduction, epistemology is explained. The report underlines how important it is for colleges to provide programs on mental health awareness and stigma reduction in order to increase knowledge and awareness. The idea of truth is used to highlight the benefits of lowering stigma associated with mental illness and significance of evidence-based approach in diagnosing and treating mental health problems.